There it is, bluegill jig number 1. I told you we would make some, and here is number 1. It's still pretty similar to a crappie jig, but I'm going to change as we go on, and we're going to start touching on some different techniques and some different applications of different feathers, and we're going to break in just so that way everybody knows. You might want to be going out, you know, if you're going to tie what I'm tying, you might want to start going out and looking for this ultra wire. I'm going to probably be using medium size. I didn't use it on this one, but it is coming up. I'm going to be using it here pretty soon. Really, really small threads. This is number 8. I think it's called 8/0 or 8/0 unit thread. Very, very light, very small. I also had to get a different whip finish tool. This is the new one. This is my old one. That's the difference. This one was snapping that thread without even acting like it was going to. This one right here actually got a little bit of bend in it. It's got a little more flex in it. This one does not when it comes to that small thread, so you might keep that in mind when you're going to start tying these bluegill jigs. But there it is. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about these bluegill jigs. Like I said, this is just number 1. They're going to change. Watch the video. Tell me what you think. 1/100th of an ounce. The whole thing's the size of a dime. This one, we are going to tie exactly like we would tie a crappie jig. We're just going to completely downsize all of our materials. We're going to get really small. We don't want to get ourselves stuck in a spot to where the body is built up so thick that we can't do nothing with it. So we are going to go really small. I got some really, really small thread. I'm not even sure how easy this is going to go in the bobbin, but because I was practicing and I broke it, but we got it. Make sure we got it on the right side, and we don't. Got a loop in it. Got it out though, I think. Nope. Still got a loop in it. I told somebody before I started doing these, I was probably gonna have to go get bifocals, and but we got it. It's all that matters now. We got it in the bobbin. So exact same thing as a crappie jig, and then we'll start going from there. We're just gonna really, really go small, and we're gonna downsize. Like I said, we have got unit thread 8/0. It's a super, super light. You can't put hardly any pressure on it. We're going to go all the way to the point of the hook. We're going to come all the way back up to the head. We're going to reach in there and we're going to cut that off. Don't take much. You just seen that. All those feathers we've been throwing away. Here it goes. I'm pulling them right out of the trash can. Right here in front of me. Trying to find one that's thrown away because it was used and not because it was trash anyway, but we are literally digging through the garbage looking for feathers. We're going to take this one right here and we're going to pull off, I call it de-stemming. We're going to de-stem it. And as you pull them off, the feathers, the material on the feathers are all different lengths, so you're going to kind of have to stack it all back in your fingers and get it all evened out. That's some of what was left over on some of the hackle that was literally in my garbage can. We're going to come back to here, a little ways past the head. I'm leaving a spot open right here for a reason. We're going to wrap that. We're not hardly putting any pressure on it at all. Some, but not much. We're going to turn it this way. And we're going to find a different color to put on top. And like I said, guys, I'm literally digging through the garbage can, pulling out feathers. And we're going to take this feather, and the best way to strip them is take your fingers like this. Pull it out. When you got it all pulled out like that, all crazy looking, you're going to pinch up here in the top between your fingers, and you're just going to rip it off. And you're going to take it back, and you're going to kind of stack it all back together. Put it all back up. Trim it off here at the front to make it even. Then lay it right up here on behind the jig head. Be careful where you got your hook position in the vise this time. It's a little hook. Be easier to get out of your finger, but nobody wants a hook in their finger. All right, so we got 2 colors in it. We'll get it back in our peak rotary vise. A lot of people ask me all the time, what type of vise am I using? This is a peak rotary vise, meaning it's got the rotary function. We'll go right here, we're gonna stop, and we're gonna come back, we're gonna tie it right to there. Okay, so what for Chanel? How do you know what Chanel to get? This is where when you're ordering the stuff that the guys at Tide Flies use. This stuff is micro. You're looking for anything called micro. I have some laid out. This is definitely what I want to use on this. This is kind of like a blackish purple. This is called Synergy Micro Straggle. Black UV silver. This is a new old stock, but I do know the fly shop does carry micros. This is where you want to get into your micros. Get into the really small stuff, the fly tires, things like that. You're going to want to be paying attention to the fly tying sections at Bass Pro and all the places you get your material at. And since this is a bluegill jig, and I want to kind of keep the profile down some, I'm not going to bulk up real thick here on the Chanel. I'm going to start it right there where my feathers end. I'm going to bring my thread right back up here to that spot where we stopped. Remember, I'm leaving a small gap right here at the head for a reason. I'm going to pull that bobbin down, and then we're wrapping it just exactly like we do a crappie jig. And I'm putting a little more tension on this because I want a little bit of a belly on it. We're going to go right to here, and we're going to stop. I still got that open spot here at the head. We're going to pull that bobbin back up through there. We're going to get on the other side of that Chanel. We're going to wrap it. I'm going to come back on this side, and I'm going to wrap it again in that valley that I've created there on that head. That way I know I've got it tied down really well. So we got it stopped right there. I'm going to trim it. All right, so now we're going to go back into the garbage can or your leftover bag or wherever you've been putting all your leftover stuff. We're going to take a piece of hackle. You see where I cut the tip out of it, and we're going to strip it. Strip it meaning I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to get all these fibers all sorts of messed up, uneven, unruly. I want them to stand up like you're some kind of crazy party or something. We're going to pull them. We're going to get them all loose and fluffy and make them look good. All right, I'm going to go down here to about where the thickness of that stem starts really changing. It starts getting really thick right here. I don't want the thick part in it, so we're going to pull that material off. We're going to lay it up around the table because we're probably going to be using it on the next one. We're going to pull that one off. I'm going to pull that off. Come up here to the tip. I'm going to try to get some of that pulled off. Actually, I probably won't. Yeah, we'll. Let's go ahead and get that off right there at the side. Might have took off a little too much. Actually, I think I did. Yeah, I don't want that one. I got that one screwed up. So we'll go back to our material bucket, which is the garbage can. We'll get another one. This one here, we're going to strip from the top. Pull some off of it. Now right there, I want that spot right there. And we're going to lay that up around top of that jig head, and we're going to get it tied in. We're going to wrap it on the front. We're going to wrap it on the back. We're going to pull that feather over here on this side. And we're going to wrap it right there again, then back on the front. We'll pull that feather down. We're going to do that fluffing out here at this time so that way I don't break it. You need a spot that you can finish your thread wraps off on. And that's what I just created right here. That little stem sticking out. I want that stem. Now we're going to take it and we're going to start twisting it around that jig head. If I can hold on to it. And I'm going back and forth over where my thread's at. There's a spot right there I want to cut out of it, that top part of that stem. And we're going to pull it back around. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that tie flies like this. Probably saying, oh, you just did that so wrong. And I might have, but this is the way I've done these before. And they worked. As long as I got it all tied down good. Okay, so we got all this here wrapped up. I'm gonna pull it back. If I can do it without getting my finger in the hook. Makes me jumpy sometimes when I start getting real close to that hook. Does it do that to you? Like you start getting a little conscious about where that hook's at? I'll build up right there on that neck. I'm gonna catch these other ones. That one is just not wanting to catch. I cannot grab a hold of it. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna do anything wrong for what we're doing. We're gonna build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up. We got it. Okay, so now we're gonna find our whip finish tool. I even went a smaller size whip finish tool. This is my normal one, and this is the one we're gonna be using. That right there will cause that thread to break. So I'm gonna do this one here. It's gonna be easy. We'll pull it out and I let it slip off, and we got it. We got a knot in it. We are gonna so-called that good, just like that. We're gonna reach in there, cut that thread loose. We'll pull those fibers back. So what you got is that thing's going through the water. That water's hitting that some kind of effect. I don't know what to tell you exactly which one, but it's different looking. We're going to start doing bluegill jigs. We're going to start making them very buggy looking, very out of the ordinary looking. We're going to take our UV resin. I'll touch it up right there behind the head, and that's all I'm going to put on it. I'm not putting any more than that. So if you've been spending a lot of money with your UV resin on crappie jigs, you're not going to be spending a lot of money on UV resin with this one. I can promise you that. We're going to hold that fiber back just a little bit and let that UV light get in there, and we're going to let it cure up really good. That's about all it's going to take. When you're just using drops, that's all it's going to take. So there we go. Calling January Bluegill month, and this is for first one, and I like it. I like these little bitty, hairy looking, crazy looking little bug jigs. I love how they turn out. They hold together. And the best thing about this is that's all your scrap feathers. I literally pulled these out of the garbage can to use, and I've got a two or three 1 gallon Ziploc bags full of leftover hackle that I wasn't sure what to do with when I first started tying. And I'll get somebody that wants some bluegill jigs, and I dig into those bags, and that's what I do with them. It works. There's where your leftover material should be going. You know, you're not going to use it all on these because these jigs are small, but that's what I would use it for. So let me know what you think about bluegill jig number 1. Like, share, subscribe, hit that thumbs up. If you like it, send me a comment. Should I have done something different? Do you want to see something else? The next couple coming up, we're going to be putting wings on them, and I'm going to show you how to do the wings. And then we're going to go from tying what a fly tyer calls a bugger. We're going to call them the bluegill buggers, and we're going to make some exactly like that. I've already got the light gauge wires. I've got all kinds of really small thread. I got the really small hooks. Do y'all want to see them with the jig head on them? Or do y'all want me to put the beads on them and do them just like if I was tying a fly? Let me know. I'll get stocked up on the beads, the hooks. If not, we'll stick with Jason. We'll get all the jig heads, so that way everybody knows where they're coming from, and we all got the same material while we're tying. That's all I got, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this bluegill jig number 1 for January Bluegill month.